All right, calculus. This is a little video over your 2 homework sets from the review mini unit here. All right, you can ask me a few questions when I am back on Monday the 11th. So this is homework set number 1, finding the derivative. Just write that to the 1/2 power and simple chain rule. All right, quotient rule on that one, most likely. 3, not much to say on 3 and 4. On 5, our to write is that as both of those first, then it's a very basic application of the chain rule for both. I would write it like that and then do the product rule, derivative of that times that plus this times derivative of this, and use the chain rule on that. You can use the product rule or just distribute, x to the 5th minus 2x to the 3rd plus 7x squared plus 5x third, so forth. Combine like terms and do the very easy derivative. I would write it like that first, and then it's just an easy derivative. Okay, first state shouldn't be a big deal. Then we have more, find these derivatives. I would distribute and then find the derivative. That one's very easy. I would just rewrite it, find the derivative. We'll do the quotient rule. You can't divide everything by x. Low d high minus high d low, all over the square of what's below. Is really just, just do 12 and 13. This is like sine u, so it would be cosine u dx du, and the dx du is going to take a little bit because that's going to be 1 over x to the 3rd times the derivative of x to the 3rd. I would write it like this, then do the quotient rule on 15. Then I would do the product. You're probably going to have to do the product rule. All right, derivative of the first times second plus the first times derivative of the second. That's your first 16. Find y prime, implicit differentiation. Pretty much done, number 17 for you. Pause this whenever you need to. I'm going to make this kind of a quick video here. I've got a young infant at the home here, so got to help the mother tend to her needs. Product rule, derivative of the first times the second plus the first times derivative of the second equals, there you go. Get the y primes together. Divide both sides by what's attached to y prime. Find the absolute min or max, pretty much. So you take the derivative, set it equal to 0. Plus or minus 1 is in the interval. So figure out which is the biggest value and which is the smallest value. All right, I help you out here. So a critical value would be when the derivative is undefined, but 3 is outside that interval. We're not going to use it. Low d high minus high d low, all over the square of what's below. To get a rational function to be equal to 0, the numerator equals 0. Combine like terms. 6 is outside the interval, 0 isn't. So plug those in to the original f of x. Figure out which is going to give you the lowest y value, which is going to give you the highest. All right. That is your first homework set. That's not that bad. Again, they're both due on the same day, but 2 separate 25-point assignments. Okay, so finish that one. That one should honestly be done. No issues by Monday. Find the intervals of increase, decrease, and any local min or max. Take the derivative, set it equal to 0. Okay, I have done that for 24. That's not going to give you a fantastic answer for one of them. You get the cubed root of 2, which is 1 point something. Okay, negative infinity 0, 0 to cubed root of 2, cubed root of 2 to infinity. As test values, use negative 1, 1, and 3. Plug that into this right here. Plug those into that, and increasing, decreasing, increasing. And then increasing, decrease is a max. Decreasing to increasing is a min. So there you go. All right, you're welcome for that. I did help you out on 25. Product rule, derivative of the first times the second plus the first times derivative of the second. Always factor out e to the whatever, because that can never be 0. So then just set that equal to 0, and you get 0 and 2. Negative infinity 0, 0, 2, 2 to infinity is your test numbers. Figure out what f prime of x is. I would plug it in right there. This will also never be negative. E to the negative power is still positive. E to the positive is still positive. So just plug it in there to see if it's going to be positive or negative, honestly. Okay, so there you go. You went from decreasing to increasing to decreasing. So you can go from there. Big, big help that is. Next page here. Then this is homework set 2. Find an equation of the tangent line at a given point. Just take the derivative and plug 1 in for x. So slope is 2. Then you got to figure out what's the y value. F of 1 is 0. So that is literally the equation. You're welcome. Chain rule. Bring down that exponent. Write the original function. 1 power less. Take the derivative of u. clean it up. 1/2 of 2x is x. Square root's on the bottom. If you plug in 0, your slope is 0. All right, so plug in 0 to find the y value. It is 1, and there's your equation. 28 and 29 are pretty easy. They're on your own. All right, implicit differentiation, 20-foot ladder. You're given dx dt. You're given x, Pythagorean theorem to find y, 724. Wait. That's not 25. That is not 25. I made a boo-boo there. When the ladder is 7 feet away, so it is not 24. That definitely violates the Pythagorean theorem. So you're going to have 400 minus that. This is going to be the square root of 351, which is, 18, right? 18 point something. So that's going to change that. 18 point something. So my fault there. Okay. Anyway, you're using the Pythagorean theorem. Take the derivative, but dx dt is 0 in this case. The ladder is not getting bigger or smaller, so go from there. All right, again, sorry for that. Boo-boo. On 32, you have to add in something. Add this in when the radius is 8 centimeters. Add that in. Watch this video so I don't have to tell you on Monday. A spherical ball has a radius that is expanding at a rate of 0.3 centimeters a minute. Find the rates at which both the volume and surface area are expanding when the radius is 8 centimeters. Okay, there's volume formula, surface area formula. It should be d SA dt. Take the derivative. The only thing that's changing is the volume and the radius there. And plug in 8 and 0.3. 8 for the radius, 0.3 for dr dt. All right, cool. I'm sure you guys, hopefully you have enough info. On 31, so inverted cone, so 1/3 pi r squared h, right? We know that. The height is 10, the diameter, so the radius is 5. Water is evaporating so that its depth is changing at the constant rate of that. Find the rate at which the volume is changing. So they want to know dv dt. You know dh dt. There's nothing with dr dt. So you have to rewrite, if the radius is 5 and the height is 10, we've done this one before, the radius is 1/2 of the height. So that's what goes there. You're going to have 1/2 height squared times height. That's going to give you a 4th h to the 3rd. So it's going to be like 1/12 pi h cubed. You're going to take the derivative. All right, no big deal. All right, find the rate at which the volume is changing. And let's see. Let's go that I might have wanted to give you something else there. What do you got? You got dv. So first off, I'm going to do this one together right now. Has the shape of an inverted cone. The height is 10 and the diameter is 10, so the radius is 5. Water is evaporating so that its depth is changing at that constant rate. Find the rate at which the volume is changing. All right. So you're going to have volume is 1/3 pi. The radius is now that squared times the height. Volume is 1/12 pi h to the 3rd. All right, and I do want to also add in one thing for you here. All right, find the rate at which the volume is changing when the height is 5 centimeters. Add that in, when the height is 5 centimeters. All right. So sorry, you need to add in 2 things. All right. Next one is sometimes one of the first questions on a calc final. You want it to be continuous, so f of, you have to have that same answer there. -2. -2's got to give you the same y value. Plug -2 in for x and set them equal to each other and solve for a. Plug -2 in for x, plug -2 in for x, solve for a. Mean value theorem says f prime of c is equal to f of b minus f of a over b minus a. So f prime of c is equal to the slope, okay? F of 5, f of -1. F of 5, f of -1. 5 minus a -1 is 6. Take the derivative. Instead of writing x, I just wrote c. The slope is 10. 6c minus 2 equals 10. That's how you get c equals 2. All right. Y double prime, very good. So y prime is secant squared 3 theta times the derivative of 3 theta, which is 3. Now, if I want to take the derivative of that, I should really write it like this, chain rule. You know, you're going to bring down the 2, right? U, take the derivative of u with respect to theta, which is this. Wow. Then don't forget to take the derivative of 3 theta, which is that. Oh my gosh. Well, just kind of think of this as y prime, okay? So dy dx that's just the product rule. All right, put that 2 on the outside, and that's just the chain rule. And lastly, I'll give you some big help on this last page here. Find the equation of the tangent line to that curve that is perpendicular. So, folks, what I'm doing is I'm giving you the slope. I want to find an equation of the tangent line that has a given slope. So move the x over, divide by 5. The slope needs to be what, negative 1/5. I want it to be perpendicular to that. So a perpendicular slope would be 5. I want to find an equation of the tangent line to that curve that has slope of 5. So basically, like, what x value and what y value will give you that. So unlike the last ones where I give you an x value, I want to know at what x and y value, you know, at what point will the tangent line have a slope of 5. So you still take the derivative, only this time you set the derivative equal to 5. All right, I can give you some help on that on Monday. Find the equation of the tangent line, which is now parallel to that line. So figure out the slope of this. This line has a slope of 7 over 2. So you're going to take the derivative of that function and set it equal to 7 over 2. That x value is that. Find the x value, find the y value when x is negative 1 over 20. My gosh. All right, you're just going to use, this is your simplistic differentiation on 43. Product rule, derivative of the first times the second, plus the first times derivative of the second, minus another product rule. Make sure to put that in parentheses, though. Derivative of the first times the second, plus the first times derivative of the second, equals 8. All right, put the y primes together, which I did on the left. I moved everything else to the right and just go from there. All right, we'll talk more on Monday the 11th. Hopefully that was a little bit of help. 2 of them you definitely needed some more information. This is Yak Math Videos signing out.